Super Doomspire has a need for speed. Speed can be important to some players because it counts to be a player where your speed can outtrack your foes, right? Speed is also important to Super Doomspire. Too slow and you could get hit easily. Too fast and you could possibly lose your movement control. By not having a balance of both, we find ourselves with an ultimatum. Do I choose speed or do I choose the right speed? Well, in today's video, we'll be focusing on those players who need a bit of boost in their speed, their agility, and overall reaction time abilities. Want that edge in your gameplay? I've got you, friend. Let's get started. My name's TanookiAlex. This is our Super Doomspire series, where we focus on tips and tricks to make you the best player. Yo, what's up, Junior Squad, and welcome back to another video. Before we get started in this video, make sure to subscribe for this little extra drama, news, tips and tricks, and more. Don't forget to turn the bell so you never miss out on the latest, which we upload weekly to twice a week. In today's video, we'll be focusing on the best speed-based loadout in this video. Also in this video, we'll be picking one good speed-based loadout that you can use to garner that edge in your game and choose to have the best game. We'll be focusing on one loadout in this video, so remember, please, there is no best loadout. There are great loadouts for sure, but it all depends on your skill using these loadouts. So don't be afraid to switch up if the weapon doesn't work for you, or anything really. You don't even have to use these loadouts if you disagree. This is just my personal opinion, and this opinion, hence being an opinion, means it is not fact. These loadouts are based on my personal experience with speed in Super Doomspire. Let's get started with this loadout, which we should call this loadout Mobility Meister. This loadout focuses on agility, and this agility will hence let you use this agility for speed. We'll be going in the default order for this. We're going to be jumping into it. Get it, my pun? Nobody gets my pun? Okay, whatever, moving on. With our sword, which some may argue is one of the most important weapons in the game. The sword holds mobility with features of the default lunge, but can be switched up to different powers depending on its features. Our sword for the Mobility Meister loadout is going to be the Shadow Blade. The Shadow Blade is a fast, combat-oriented sword. It has a faster swing speed, better reflect power, and a stronger lunge than the basic sword. It also deals a small amount of knockback on the swing. The cons are that it deals less swing and less mid-air damage, and slower special charge-up. Its special attack is lunge, but it's different than other swords that utilize this. The lunge travels further, faster, and deals heavy damage that easily compensates its overall damage, but it charges slower than a basic sword would. It can also be amazing in reflecting rockets from launchers, as it swings faster than a tennis racket but has a slightly worse reflecting power, making this sword an excellent choice in Round Cat Rally. The reason I chose this weapon is because I felt the weapon has excellent mobility features, firstly with its lunge. As mentioned previously, however, this sword works different from other swords. The lunge will travel further, giving you a speed boost, and is excellent for getting around. Its faster swing speed hence utilizes speed, and this speed can be used to take quicker hits. These quicker hits then cause faster damage and therefore a faster knockout than other swords if a combo is done. Although it does deal less swing damage and mid-air damage, this can be easily combated with how fast it swings. The pros outweigh the cons in this case because the pros can be easily used to deflect. The speed, properly utilized players can use this speed to their advantage. Secondly, I chose this weapon because of its lunge doing quite heavy damage. Despite it doing less swing power, the lunge is quite more damage than other swords. This can be used as a knockout hit, and this knockout hit can kill players with a couple swings in a combo, you know? Going over the buffs and nerfs of this weapon. Buff 50% more lunge speed and damage, 50% more reflect power, 20% faster swing speed. Its nerfs, 50% longer recharge, and 15% less damage overall. Note, due to the stock sword weapon being consistently tweaked without updating this, it actually has a 4.5 second cooldown with 50 damage compared to a stock sword's 3 second cooldown with 35 damage. Next, let's move on to our rocket, otherwise known as a launcher. For this one, I picked a rocket that has speed, agility, and fast firing, based on the video game series Mega Man. It's our arm cannon. The arm cannon is unique, as it has the ability to fire 3 different levels of rockets, which each level varying in damage and speed. Rockets can be charged up while holding the left mouse button and will be fully charged after 4 seconds, in which it cannot be charged anymore. After firing any shot, it will recharge extremely quickly afterwards. With a simply tap and charge lightly, it will fire a small pellet. These pellets will not explode and deal 45 damage to targets, but are the fastest of all the projectiles. When halfway charged and released, it will fire a medium-sized orb. This has the capability to KO an enemy along with producing a low average explosion, but will travel slightly slower than the small pellets, and you cannot rocket jump with this explosion. However, when it is fully charged, it will fire a very large orb. This orb, more powerful than the medium-sized orb, along with having a high explosion power with the ability to rocket jump with it. This orb, however, will travel the slowest. The arm cannon is excellent for combos because of its uncharged 45 damage, making it an amazing combo maker with the Shadow Shuriken and the Greatsword. I chose this weapon because of its fast-firing shot and its recharging with extremely quick, fast-firing shots. Because of its quickness and its ability to fire fast, it makes an excellent weapon. Its third charge can also be used for rocket jumping, which adds mobility to your spring. Now, onto our next weapon, which are our bomb. Keep in mind, although this isn't considered a 5-star weapon, its skills can be considered 5 stars. If you're not good at the game, and that's okay, I advise you do not use this weapon as it can be harder for non-pros. There is no shame at being like, hey, let's try a different weapon. And from here, this different bomb would be a gem bomb or a square bomb if you aren't good at the game. Or not exactly there yet to say. The remote denominator is a special bomb that can be thrown like balls. However, the bombs won't be nearly thrown as far and won't bounce like balls. Each bomb will immediately set up where the player presses the R button, right click, and shift lock. There will be a certain amount of time needed for the last bomb to be thrown to deactivate. Although, fully charging the bomb when thrown will drastically decrease deactivation time, 0.6 seconds. Multiple bombs can be thrown and will detonate simultaneously if armed. This can be used when creating a trap, which can be best used in infection mode. Note that these bombs will only stay for a couple minutes before despawning. The remote denominator is also very well known for its bomb jumping capabilities. If many bombs are close to each other, the power of the bombs can be stacked. This will allow for a much more powerful explosion and a much greater bomb jump, allowing greater mobility and fleeing tactics. Bomb jumping is also notably easier because then a player can charge and throw a bomb right in front of them and then denominate it when it is ready to launch. This can allow for much faster bomb jumps and may come in handy during escapes. The remote denominator is also an extremely useful bomb in infection mode. Although the bombs can be used as a trap, it can be used as a getaway method. You can use this to your advantage when needing to get somewhere quickly or simply escaping. You can also stack bomb power and launch yourself in the air, which can give you 10 to 15 seconds of air stalling time. This can be even used to perform mid-air jumps with the air of a rocket jump and a sword. However, this does take some practice and can be difficult. I chose this weapon because of its mobility if you're an expert in the game. Because of the remote denominator being a special bomb, it can be controlled much easier with the remote. Bomb jumping is also easier with the remote denominator because of its ability to be controlled and the faster bomb jumps. During escapes, as mentioned previously, it can become very handy. However, keep in mind some of these tricks do take skill. If you do not take skill, or you do not have skill, refer to around 1 or 2 minutes back where this 1 minute back will have the weapon you need. Remember, there is no shame in this. Let's move on to our ball, or the super ball. The Bloomerang is a variant of the boomerang, but has another unique feature. When thrown, it can be jumped on you to boost into the air, similar to the lobby, or can be built by a trowel. This allows a lot of versatility with platforming and jumping away from danger. It even has the ability to push/tip Super Doomspires, and do it with only being able to collide with parts. Its downside is that it can only take damage to an enemy once, making it a bad choice for combat. It also takes longer to be thrown and charged, but it charged way slower, however, this can be easily combated. The Bloomerang can be used as a trampoline, which can be used for your benefit. You can use the Bloomerang to get around to places that you can usually not. During sudden death or when your team has no more spawns yet, the Bloomerang becomes an amazing escape tool. Throw the Bloomerang, possibly hitting others, and then bounce on it. Incredibly useful if there are multiple people chasing you at once. If paired with the lunge ability, this tool can become extremely annoying to other players. The Bloomerang can also be used as an alternative to bomb jumping if necessary. I chose this weapon for a Super Ball because of its ability to use swiftly with agility. Agility is a big factor to speed. This trampoline can also be used to make your escape speedy as well as being used as an escape tool. Lastly, let's go over our final, the trowel. The Shadow Clone is a teleporter. It allows you to get around certain places across the map. However, it does have a point where you can't teleport since it is too far. This makes the teleport best used as a quick mobility or an easy to get away option. Teleporting is rather simple and you can use it to fall off the map or avoid falling off the map, or being caught in an explosion or rocket blast. There are also a few shortcuts for teleporting. You can shortcut through to thin floors, such as the bridges connecting each Doomspire or different floors on the Doomspire. This means that you can click on the bottom of the bridge or the floor and you will automatically be on top of it. Are you going to fall down to the oblivion in the bottom of the map? Use the shadow clone to get on top of the bridge. No stairs to advance to the top floor? Use the shadow clone on the ceiling. When first getting the shadow clone, you may need a lot to decide where to go and whatnot, thus making your teleporting process a lot slower. However, as you practice, you will be able to be quick and decisive and pick the best possible spot to go to. I chose this weapon as of its ability to swiftly teleport, which can get you out of quick situations very fast. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment if you found the loadout very helpful.